Super Bowl 55, it all comes down to the Packers and the Bills. Oh, wait a minute. That was both of your predictions, and it didn't quite work out. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. How about this matchup, first off, Bob?
How about you're a smart aleck, second off? What do you think of that? It's the reason why your face isn't on here, and you don't have to do this. You hide behind your maskless face. Look, it's not easy with these things, Brian. Let me tell you, man. The quarterback, obviously, matchup is what everyone's going to want to yak about, and I don't blame them because it's going to be a hell of a show. You got Mahomes, who loves Brady, who wants to follow in Brady's footsteps. Good luck with that, young man. You only have 8 more Super Bowl appearances to make after this one. When I was talking to BA last week, and I said, did you ever imagine that any person, any quarterback, especially could go to 7, could possibly win 7 Super Bowls? And he just started laughing uncontrollably on the other end of the line, as did I, because I still don't believe it. This is Brady's 10th Super Bowl. Mahomes, though, is some magical, just totally different kind of quarterback that we've seen before. And it's going to be everything that I think everyone wants to watch. And, we'll save who we think is going to win for the end of this, but I wouldn't put anything past Mahomes, and I'm never going to ever bet against Tom Brady ever again.
It's a hard match when you won't bet against either, but I get that. I think both of these quarterbacks are so impressive. I thought it was really interesting how Tom Brady, during one of the availabilities this week, was making note of how different everything is this year, with even the press conferences all being virtual, and said it kind of casually, something to the effect of, well, this is so different than the previous 9 times I've been in the Super Bowl. And just like, what a casual flex. I think just finding good ways to work that in. It's such a credit to his longevity in this league. But, as Bob mentioned, on the flip side, Mahomes is so dynamic to watch. I think, sometimes just the way they create things around him and seeing some of the stuff he does, those ridiculous throws, I'm really excited to see what each of these quarterbacks do.
Mahomes makes it look effortlessly sometimes. That's what kills me. Things that you don't think he can do. He does it with so much ease and calmness. That's what makes him so special.
Yeah.
It really is one intriguing matchup. And I think the other intriguing matchup is we look at the coaches in this, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy versus, Arians, Bowles, and Leftwich. Bob, you talked with BA and really this is him getting to the pinnacle in a career that, has been very successful, but this is where he's wanted to be.
Yeah, this is everything. This is why he came back. He said he wanted one last shot. And then at the end of the conversation, he said, if I win it, I'm coming back for a second. And I don't doubt him for one bit. I mean, Brady, as Katherine alluded to, made some interesting comments in the days leading up to this big game, saying he'll consider playing maybe after 45 years old. That's crazy. He's 43 now. And again, I'm not going to bet against him. But this is a beautiful thing for these coaches. It's great for 2 guys specifically besides the head coaches. I know we want to talk about them because they're the big story here. But I want to hit on the assistants. Eric Bieniemy deserves to be a head coach. There's no doubt about it. And he had a couple interviews. I don't know how serious they really were with the teams bringing him in, but Andy Reid is mad as hell that Bieniemy's not going to get a head coaching job again. And Bruce Arians is, quote unquote, pissed off that Leftwich couldn't even get an interview. Bieniemy's been around a hell of a lot longer, but Leftwich is a rising star, I think, as a coach. I don't know how much more I can tell you that other than to say BA gave up play calling to Byron Leftwich, something he told us forever he would never, ever do unless someone came along and did it better than him. When I asked him if Byron's doing it better than him, he says, I wouldn't say that, but he's been pretty damn good. Tells you a lot.
Katherine, and there's something to be said about the Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and last year getting over the hump and really, I mean, these two have worked together splendidly, and the Mahomes connection, it really is something dynamic for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think too, last year, so many people were captivated by that storyline of Andy Reid trying to get there, never getting that Super Bowl ring, finally getting it. And I think, Bruce Arians and Andy Reid, I would love to just be a fly on a wall for one of their conversations. I think they're just they bring so much personality, so much fun to this sport. And I think they're easy for casual fans to kind of latch on to. To Bob's point too, I think Byron Leftwich, when he was here with the Cardinals, my first season on the beat, his Thursday press conferences were just delightful. And I think that carries over so much to his relationships with players. He's been a really strong play caller. Bruce has spoken so highly of that, but just the way too that he really gets to know and understand his players to then bring out the best of them on the field. I think that goes such a long way. And it's something they've done in Kansas City too. So seeing that aspect for both of these teams of coaches that players really rally around.
So now we transition back to the game Sunday, 4:30 our time here in Arizona. It starts. What are you looking for specifically, Bob, in this game?
I mean, you could go through the gauntlet on this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking at. It's really going to be Tampa Bay's defensive front seven against that Kansas City offense. We've been talking about how the Bucs defense has been coming on during these playoffs, and Devin White, that inside linebacker, all those name guys who are rushing the passer, that's going to be the difference in this game. You can get to Patrick Mahomes, keep him contained on the edges, and rattle him and get him off his game. No one really does it very well, but this defense has proven it can do it to anybody. And Arians told me that's going to be the key to the game. That you unleash our pass rush, let Todd Bowles dial up as many blitzes as he sees fit whenever he does. Look, they got great weapons to counter that with Kelsey and Tyreek, you name it. You can go up and down the list, even Mahomes getting out of trouble. But in my opinion, it's going to be that pass rush by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
Yeah. Katherine?
Yeah, I think for as much as the Super Bowl is fun to see two ridiculously talented quarterbacks, that Tampa Bay defense is such a huge factor, as Bob mentioned. I'm also, obviously somewhat looking forward to the commercials, but I'm a little nervous if it's going to be too much about Corona, too many of the same, cliche things of like, we're all in this together, which like we are, yes, but I don't know that I want to hear it 87 times in the same game. So, pros and cons.
I'll bet you there's a dog in the first commercial in bank, and I'll bet you $5, Kat. Okay. Hey, dog, cat, $5. Brian, you in on that? You in on
No, I agree. There's always a dog, whether they go puppies or whether they do something. But yeah, you're on point there, and you're not going to avoid the predictions here. So prediction and score. Prediction and score. And you know what? We're going to start with Katherine here because she enjoys this so much.
She does.
Yes, I really like looking into the future, something I feel so confident about. I don't know. I think this is such a weird one. This isn't backed by stats or anything, but just my gut is telling me it's the Bucs. I think, it's going to be a really fun game. Their playoff run has, I think, just impressed me. And I think they get it here. We'll go, I don't know, like a 30-28. Real close.
Ooh.
Wow, 30-28.
Wow. She took that score almost right verbatim out of my mind. How did you do that?
Just looking into the future again.
I guess, you mind reader. Well, I'll change it up a little bit. I told you I wasn't going to vote against Brady. And see, and there I go. And now I'm back. Yes. Hello. Magic. There I am. See, that was like conjuring me out of my pick.
I thought he was avoiding the pick, Katherine. I thought he was just, Karnak was going away.
I respected it. A power move.
Weird. I had a dream during a mid-morning nap, and it said 34-31. But I don't know which team. I I told you I wasn't going to go against Brady, but my mind is convincing me do something different than Katherine. You might have a shot. So I'm going to go Chiefs 34-31. I shouldn't do it, but I just did.
He's Bob's been one of those back and forth. He gives us these great scenarios, and then he says, "But you know what? We're going someplace else." And it's been that way throughout the playoffs. And maybe you're going to be right this time, Bob. Somebody's got to be right.
I did it so one of us could be right, Brian.
Better than our
and a shout out.
four.
And a shout out to Katherine. I hear he's picking 30-28, but he's not telling us the team. So in keeping with his tradition, we thank you, Kent. And we also say have fun on Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 55. Enjoy.